Hi, my name's Darren and we're going to talk to you today about mobility scooters. Mobility scooters, in the most part, can aid a person's independence, enabling them to get to the shops or visiting friends and family. The scooter we have here is typical of a typical boot scooter that we would sell within our stores. There is quite an extensive range of boot scooters available, but the one we've chosen here today is the Scout by Drive. What we're going to go through initially with you is the workings of the scooter, but certainly if you pop into any of our stores we will do a full assessment, making sure the scooter is the right size for you, it covers the mileages it needs to for you, the distances, and it's fundamentally suitable for what you want it to do. With any scooter, any boot scooter, the first thing we always talk about is the drive and freewheel function. At the moment you can see me freely moving the scooter along. If we try to operate the scooter in this state, what we will have is a flashing light on the tiller. This is referred to as the tiller. The scooter will not work at all, and the reason for that is at the back of every mobility scooter there is what we call a drive and freewheel lever. I'm just going to place that down to the floor now. The scooter now becomes stationary and will now allow me to turn the key on again. Your battery light should be solid, and using what we call the tortoise and hare, the speed controller, that's now going to allow me to move the scooter forwards and backwards. The controller you refer to here is called the wig-wag or enabler switch. So this will take you forwards, as you can see, and backwards. We have a horn button also on the scooter for safety when you are using it, so you can warn people that you're coming towards them, or if you need anybody to move out of your way. I'm going to turn the scooter off now. What we're going to do is take the scooter apart and show you the various different parts, and again this is quite consistent with typically the range we would do within all our stores. The first thing we're going to do is take the basket away from the front of the scooter. The second part, we're going to take the seat off the scooter by placing this down, and again while we're talking about the seat, on all the boot scooters the seat arms are adjustable so they can be brought either inwards or outwards for comfort. On all the scooter seats, again, boot scooters, we will have a seat lever. This also allows for easy access onto the scooter, so if somebody wanted to get onto the scooter from the back, as you can see the scooter seat is locking at certain points, but we also use that bar here just to take the seat off nice and easily. Again, any of the boot scooters we have within our stores will have some form of battery holder or clip. On this particular model it's located here, and what we're doing is we're just tightening this nut here, allowing us to lift that away from the battery and simply pull up on that. The battery box is one of the heavier parts of the scooter, and just while we're talking about that, I'm just going to show you the battery charging port on the front. This is where you would place the 3-pin plug which comes supplied. You would charge the battery for a minimum of 8 to 12 hours on a regular basis, so even if you're not using the scooter for a period of time, we always encourage you to regularly charge it at least once a week. We're now going to detach the motor away from the back of the scooter, like so, by lifting the clip up here. And the final part, using what we refer to as the tiller knuckle, is just loosen that ever so slightly, enabling you to drop the arm down to the floor. Okay, one thing we're going to do now is put the scooter back together, enabling us to use it for whatever purpose you need the scooter for. The easiest way with the rear of the scooter is to leave it on its back wheels, and the reason for that is there is what we call a pinch point just at the back here, and what we're going to do is, as best as we can, lining up the footboard of the scooter, is just lift it up and in. On this particular model, as you can see, as soon as it finds the pinch point it will actually lock over automatically for you, so that is now nice and safe. To raise the steering column of the scooter, or also referred to as the tiller arm, we're going to just unloosen the tiller knuckle ever so slightly, just giving you enough to lift up the arm. This is obviously totally adjustable to suit each and every person's specification. Remember to tighten the tiller knuckle back up, and as it is just finding the teeth on the knuckle head, that will leave the scooter steering feeling nice and tight for you. We're going to place the battery back onto the scooter, and you will actually feel it as you're dropping the battery on most mobility scooters. You will feel it connecting with the contacts. We're then now placing the lock back over the battery and giving the nut a tighten, so when you're going over any bumpy terrain, the scooter isn't going to cut out on you. The battery's nice and secure. We're going to take hold of the seat and simply line that up over the seat post, and again you will find using that adjustment bar, it will automatically lock into place, enabling you to use your new mobility scooter again. And the last part is by placing the basket just onto the front of the seat post. We're now going to talk to you about the control panel of the Drive Scout scooter. This particular model we have incorporates what they call a Delta handlebar. The Delta handlebar is a bar, as you can see, that you can rest your hands onto and use the scooter quite comfortably. So this is particularly useful for a user who may have arthritic condition in their hands. On the main control panel here, we have what we refer to as the battery gauge. As you can see now, the battery gauge is flashing at the moment, and that is because the scooter is in freewheel. If I pop the lever down at the back of the scooter and turn the key back on, we now have a solid green light. This will enable the user to use the scooter freely. On the top of the control panel here is a horn button, so again that is for user safety and other users on the pavement. And the speed controller is what we call tortoise and hare. The fastest a boot scooter will go is 4 miles per hour, which is considered to be brisk walking pace, but the user can regulate the speed accordingly depending on how comfortable you feel with the scooter. The controller here is what we refer to as a wig-wag, and that simply enables travel on the scooter backwards and forwards. As you can see, by my placing my hand on that, the scooter's moving freely backwards and forwards. One thing we do always pride ourselves on at Ableworld is the quality control we go into when selling a mobility scooter to a user, whether it be a pavement scooter or a road scooter. So we always encourage and implore people to call into one of our many stores across the country, where we will go through a full in-depth demonstration and assessment to make sure the scooter we are selling you is correct and proper. One thing that we always make available to any scooter user is the highway code, which is available in any of our stores, and this gives you the simple do's and don'ts for use of pavement, medium-sized boot scooters and vehicles such as the one I have in front of me here. Okay, one very important aspect of looking after any mobility scooter, especially during the winter months, is checking things like tyre pressure. Where we have pneumatic tyres on a road scooter, making sure that the tyre is in good condition to use on the road. On a boot scooter generally, most of the models will have a solid rubber tyre. So the beauty of that is you're not going to be at risk of getting punctures. We do at Ableworld obviously offer an extensive service, and at any point the vehicles can be brought in to be serviced by one of our qualified engineers. Also the batteries, making sure that the batteries are regularly charged even if the scooter is not being used for a period of time. Making sure that we charge the batteries for at least 8 to 12 hours on any of the models, and we're charging them regularly as well. On any pavement boot scooter, the battery charging port will always be on the battery box, allowing for ease of use for taking the battery off and charging it away from the scooter if you should so desire. We also have a range of accessories available in all of our stores, which cover rain mats, scooter canopies and covers to keep the scooter in nice tip-top condition whilst you're not using it.